My name is Mrs. Gift George Green.
Azibaye, Kelvin, Finapiri.
I am Dame Amoporbo Grace Daboyiya Ishmael Baningo, a daughter of the soil.
Sir Dave Banigo, I'm a son of Grand Bonny.
This morning we just attended our friend's area, Mrs. Molly Idaye Finapiri.
Area is an Ibani culture performed by the Ijaw people in different forms.
The area bibite ceremony of the Bonny people is something that authorizes a woman to become a full-fledged woman. Before area, a woman is seen as a maiden, and at the point that she is shown to be a full-grown woman, she does the Kala Ekerebite and the Bibite ceremony.
In Bonny tradition, well, once you're married, and we really don't take the bride price in Bonny, what they do is the father of the bride will say, look, I'm not taking the bride price, you're going to tie my daughter wrapper. In the wrapper we mean the area.
Area to us is to showcase your maiden daughter that she's ripe for marriage. That is the main reason for area.
Kala Ekerebite, most times in those days, is something that is done by the parents of the maiden, the woman, the would-to-be woman. It simply means the passage of rights that qualifies you to be a Bonny woman, that entails you to be able to discuss with Bonny women where they are talking, gather with them, fellowship with them. Area Bibite, of course, in those days were separated, but modernity had brought them together. They can be done together. So what they do today, they do the Kala Ekerebite in the morning and they do the Bibite in the afternoon. While in those days, they do one over years, then you do the second one. Some persons graduated to start doing it for 2 days. You do the Kala Ekerebite on day 1, day 2 you do the Bibite ceremony.
This is the celebration of a womanhood, a time, well, going back in age, when our forebearers will say, this is their maiden daughter, she's ripe and ready for marriage, which is the womanhood we are celebrating.
In Bonny tradition, some fathers can also do it to their daughters before they get to the age. That's as they get to the adolescent age, before they marry. It's a two-way thing. Before you get married, your father can decide to do it for you, then hand you over to your husband when it gets time for you to marry. And then you can also get married, do the traditional marriage and everything, and the father says, I don't want to take the bride price, please, you will do this tradition for my daughter. And when it gets to that time, the husband will not do the tradition.
In some cases, area is tied to the marital process, where some families will say, we will not ask you of dowry, but make sure that you do this for our daughter so that she could be seen as a full-fledged Bonny woman.
If the parents cannot do that for her because of financial constraint, whoever comes to marry her, it depends on the family. As dowry, will be asked to perform the area for her instead of paying the dowry.
Every woman, either born or married into Bonny, has to go through the ceremony. Otherwise, there are several things that she's unable to do.
For a woman that has been brought from outside, it is only proper that the only way you can integrate her to be part of the social cultural heritage of the Bonny people is to get her, if you like, use the word initiate into womanhood of the Bonny people.
When a daughter grows up, you want her to be seen as ripe for marriage. There is this culture of putting her in confinement in the fatting room by the parents. Those days, as a teenage girl, she will be there depending on the nature of the girl. If she's that slim, they want her to grow up, she can be there for a number of months. Some 3 months, some 6 months, some 1 month, some 2 weeks, it depends. And she will be fed properly in that confinement. The warrior is where you take the maiden into confinement, feed her well. She will be bathing and rubbing different kinds of indigo, native chalk, to cleanse the body instead of using cream. The wrappers have stages. The wrappers involved are the kake, that is woven cloth, the popo cloth, the damask, the awomebite is a judge dyed to give a particular color, and then the judge proper. The inner wears, the inner wrappers, we have the egerebite, we have the soul. The egerebite, they are in two qualities. There's the heavier one we call Ido. That one is very heavy. And then the lighter one, Egerebite.
It has two stages. We'll have the morning display, which is called the morning play, and then we'll have the evening display. The morning play, the Yoruba comes out fully dressed. There are women, elderly women that have also gone through this process that comes out and take her out to we call it Shiri, where she dances. In the morning, she is expected to be with Ekaki in the morning, and then she changes to Popo. She changes 2 times in the morning, you know, dressed with her clari, both her neck full, her body and everything. And then after that, she now comes back to the house.
It is done in 2 sessions. The morning session, we use the Ekaki and Popo cloth. That is 2 wrappers involved with the inner wears. Then the kora for the morning play, depending on what you have.
The evening play comes around 2 o'clock, where she's also expected to dress out. She dresses 3 times, comes out with the damask. She dresses with the damask up and down, and then probably also the damask with a blouse. After the damask, she now comes out with what we call the boni big wrapper, awamabite. She ties the awamabite with a blouse, also adorned with her clari and all that. And then the 3rd stage, which signifies her going into judge, she will now losing that one, and then they will tie her the judge, and that will be the last. It also depends if your hand is okay. You can want to dress 4 times, you can want to dress 5 times, as the case may be. But the thing is 3 basic wrapper that will have the first one, the damask, as you come out with the damask, and then the awamabite. That one is a very big wrapper that we'll have in Boni Kingdom, and then the last one is the judge wrapper. So these are the stages. This is always done with ceremonies, with smiles, because it's a thing of joy. It's a thing of joy. People come out to celebrate the Irabo.
You can tie as many colors as you want to tie if there is time. If there is time, you tie as many as you want to tie. After the damask, you go into the awamabite, the dyed judge. After the dyed judge, you can now display your judges. If there is time, you tie as many as you want to tie. In those days, they don't allow you to do the 2 together. That is the Kale Egerebite and the Opo Egerebite. You do them at different times. It is believed that the Opo Egerebite is mainly done by the elderly ones. You must be fully matured to do that BBT part of it.
Every woman, either born or married into Boni, has to go through the ceremony. Otherwise, there are several things that she's unable to do. So it's really fulfilling to get this event, going and just get it done.
This is just our culture. This is when you get to womanhood or when your husband deems it fit to bring you out. It is one thing that every woman must do. And mind you, if you are a woman in Boni Kingdom, you have not done this, probably anything happens to you, they will do it on the bed for you. That's if you die and you've not done it, they will do it on top of that bed before they bury you. This is our culture.
Let everybody who has somebody he or she can encourage the person to pass through this rite and be a full Boni woman.
It is something that is worth doing. It's something that you have to do. It's something that you must do. So I'll say it's something that you have to do, so go for it. It takes a bit of everything. Take your time, it takes your finance, it takes everything. But it is a culture that we have to preserve. It's a culture that we have to pass on to our own children. So I'll say everyone. Today, the young ones, we the young ones, most of them, for me, I'm doing it even late. Today, people key it into their marriage. They make sure it gets into the marriage, perhaps because of the costs, implications. So people key it into the marriage. So I think people are doing it more and more now. So I'll still encourage every young one, okay, it's something that we have to do. We have to sustain this culture and pass it on to our children.
There is nothing involved with it. No deity, no appeasing of the gods, nothing. Even those days, people even do it more in a Christian way. They get the Christian band, sit down, and the Christian music sings and they dance. So you must do it. Whatever form you want to come with yours, you must do it. But there is no deity, there is no appeasing of any god, nothing. It's purely culture.
There is no sacrifice. Nothing. People are misunderstanding the whole thing. It's just the pride of a Boni woman.
And that's why we get it wrong. No. Libation, of course, if you talk of ATR, African traditional religion, libation is part of ATR. But for the area purpose, I challenge anybody. There is no outcome of libation. Rather, area embraces God. Because we are told that the area ceremony, the woman unties the first wrapper, she is presented before God, and that's what used to happen of old. Telling God that this is what I intend to do. Telling God that this is what I believe that I should do for my people. And before she does the other things that follow. So area has nothing to do with fetishism, no. But people have thought so. Because the dance steps of old, the dance steps want to qualify you to say, maybe you are doing the dance steps of the mermaid. But I've been asked, who saw the mermaid when the mermaid danced? Nobody saw the mermaid when the mermaid danced. So the area steps are creative works. The area steps are choreography created by our people of old to be able to eulogize the woman who is celebrating beauty, celebrating courage, celebrating adornment.
She's doing well. She's a good dancer. She's following the steps. She's listening. I was watching her. She's listening to the drum.
Perfectly well. She did it very well. You know, the Ijaw, Kalabari, or Krika, they all have similar dance steps. So it's easy for her to blend because she already has this dance step in her. So she was getting it very well. She did it very beautifully, very well.
I want to think that Molly was taking dance classes. Yes, she's an Ijaw girl. Yes, she had been married into the Boni Kingdom for a while. Molly did it so well. And I want to think that she was paying a private teacher because she did it so well. She understood the drums. She understood her leader. And so to me, thumbs up to Molly.
It's still part of the whole thing, the rhythmic steps, everything she's done. It's a bit of practice, getting her to understand to it. And she's a good dancer. And it is the beauty of the event itself. It brings out the beauty and everything that's involved. So yes, I'll say it's a beautiful step for me seeing her dancing. The most time I just sit and just watch the way she's doing it, and obviously yes.
This area entails so many things. You need to be very ready. It takes time.
If you have the money, but we are told in trying to understand the money culture that it has nothing to do with money.
Well, it's been a 1 year of planning, strategizing, and finally the execution is what we're doing now. To be honest, even myself, when I thought about the event itself, I felt it was something that there's no point to plan. But getting into it, it takes a bit of time.
You can wake up, that's why I said the mother's box is there, and you can achieve it in 1 month. You can wake up and plan it for 1 year. You can wake up and plan it for 6 months, even 3 months. So if you say, to be specific, if I have the money and I say we're in January and Easter is around March, April, and I say now I want to tie maybe a wife, a daughter, or a sister, I want to initiate her into womanhood, I can achieve Easter because I have the money.
It is not something of 1 week, 2 weeks. It will take about 3 years to get prepared. But where the cash is there, maybe 1 year is enough to plan for it.
We actually took 1 full year. Last year, December, is when we commenced, up till this time. And at the end of the day, you still see, towards the end, I felt everything would just go very flawless, like smooth, but you still have a lot of work around to do coordination, despite all the time I was put in. Well, the time has been put in to make sure that everything is well planned, coordinating things from considering where we are, Bonny Island. It's a bit difficult, but it takes a bit of all hands on deck, getting everything well coordinated to make sure that this day comes the way we want it. So yes, it's been quite a journey. It's been 1 year of planning, but we're glad today is here and we're happy. Okay.
My name is Mr. Samuel Amiko Igurubia, IGRUBIA.
My name is Victor Igurubia. Victor Igurubia. I'm the elder brother to bride, as a celebrant. Actually, we're from Bayelsa.
I am a Bayasan. I am from Emeyan too, in Ogbuya local government area. When I came in and I saw what's happening, I was impressed. And that is how it should be, because after all, the white men who came here did not come by air. There was no road at that time. They came through water. And after the Gold Coast and all the rest of it, this was the first port of call in the Niger Delta this way, down this way. And Bonny is supposed to be an embodiment of a little bit of the British type and our own culture. Although we've sheepishly followed the British culture to a certain extent that we tend to forgetting our own culture. But when I came here and I saw what is happening, Finapiri married my daughter, and I gave my daughter to him for marriage. At this point in time, he invited me that he wants to elevate his wife to the highest class in his own society according to his culture. a Bani manhood, and that my family should be present, so that as my daughter dances and turns her face, she sees her people, accepting that we lost my wife, her mother, some years ago. And so we had to come. And we've seen this is a rare occasion, as much as we know, occasion in Bonny, from Upobo, and a little bit of the Okrikan and the Nembe people. This is the highest occasion, as we were told, among the Bani people.
Area, for most of the time we say yes, it's for the Niger Delta people or for the Riverine area people, but mostly in Bayelsa it's not too common like that. But in Kalabare, Bonny and Okrika areas, we find that that is one of the peak of marriage. If anybody has not done that, it's like they've not done the complete marriage in their content and quotes. So for Bonny, it's believed that tying of wrapper is one of the biggest occasions for a woman that is married. Because the real sense is that if you don't do this, you will not be able to come out where women are coming out or where women are presenting anything. As a full woman, you cannot. Even though no matter the number of children you have, you cannot be part of it. So this one is just like making you belong into that class to say, yes, I'm a complete woman in Bonny Kingdom.
So that his wife can be able to tie any type of cloth, any type of cloth that humanly possible can be used. Because here is a place where, unless this is done, you can tie any and any cloth.
One, I want to say it's a beautiful thing, because when you see the glamour, see the content and the extent of what it is, you want to know that yes, it's a beautiful thing. But how many young men can be able to afford it the way it is now? That is one of the things you look at too. Again, how many young men can be able to afford it? Maybe that's why it has delayed for some people doing this. They do other things, but doing this becomes a bit difficult for them. But give and take, in a nutshell, it's a very beautiful sight. It's a very beautiful experience to witness, and that is what I would say. But it's expensive.
My daughter, Mole is my first daughter, and she's very hardworking. She will not let the family down first. She will not let my family down. If she doesn't let my family down, then you can imagine what she will be to her own family. The family today, as we refer to family, immediate family, the husband, the wife, and the children. She is a very listening daughter. She's a hard-working daughter. She adheres, she takes directives from her husband, and that gives us hope that she will not let us down. So I'm really very grateful, very, very grateful that my first daughter has been recognized to be somebody who is competent to be a mother of children and a wife of a very responsible young man.
This is an opportunity to say a very big thank you to the husband, to Kelvin Finapiri. He has done very much. If you can see the number of people he has brought from different places to come and witness this, you know that yes, the man has done very much. And the marriage, I want to say definitely this is just the beginning. Just the beginning. I'm 70 years in marriage now, but at least for them I know it's just the beginning. So I want to pray and wish that God will definitely give them His infinite mercy, will rest upon them, protect them, guide them. In different occasions you see different type of people. But we know the prayers and everything, we know everything definitely will go well.
Yes. Yes. Mr. Finapiri has elevated me, my family, and indeed his wife, my daughter. It's a blessing from God. And just like this morning, when the pastor came for a prayer, what the pastor said, it is not Molly, it is not my daughter we're praising.
Molly, wife of Azibaye, exceptional. Not very easy to find women who their husbands, work abroad, and you see them comported, you see them content, you see them not loud, not seen, not heard. Not very easy. But Molly is very comported, very content. Molly is not in circulation. Molly indeed had come to stay.
She's my guardian angel. That's just the summary of it. She's my guardian angel, and if you know what a guardian angel does to you, that's what you do. She is beautiful inside out. She's everything I could ever think or dream of. And in other words, if I'm asked to get married again in the next world, I'll marry her again.
I'm exceptionally grateful to God for a bonny guy, a bonny young boy would come all the way. Bonny guy would come all the way and swim across the big sea to pick my daughter as his wife. Not only that, to elevate her to be cherished, recognized, and accepting as somebody who is capable enough to take care of him, of he as a husband.
And ask that God crown him with His glory and His love. Above all, let the love of God rest upon two of them and the entire family, in Jesus' name.
I want to use this special occasion to wish Mr. and Mrs. Azibaye Finapiri. We pray that the Lord will continue to bless and keep them, that more celebration will continue to come their way from now. This is just the beginning. There are so many things ahead of them, and God will continue to bless them in Jesus' name.
Molly and Kelvin. Molly, you are the strength of Kelvin. Molly, you have shown Kelvin courage. You have shown him love. May it hold you, may it keep you, and may it bind you. Congratulations.
Congratulations, my darling wife. It's been a journey for a year, planning. It's been a journey that we have all dreamed and wished for, and I wish you the best. If I have to do this again, it will be you, and you, and you again.
Thank you.